to this new lesson, quality. Don't you like to wear quality clothes? Don't you like to have quality things in your wardrobes? Yes, you know, there is a big race between handmade and quality goods. Fast goods, do you think they have quality? Today, we'll know that what is having a real quality and unleash. Come on, I'll take you to the journey of quality. Grade 7, Subject English. Today's lesson, Quality. I am your language teacher, Vaishanti ma'am. Quality, where the main character is Kessel Brothers, written by John Galsworthy. The title refers to the great quality boots Mr. Gassler made. It is an idle title as it refers to the business practice followed those days, where no one cared about quality. The main characters, Mr. Gassler, author John Galsworthy. We need to brainstorm. Do you buy your provision packed in plastic packets at the big store or loose from a small store next to your house? Do you buy ready made clothes or buy clothes that are stitched by a tailor? Today, we will read about two brothers who had put their hearts and souls in making boots. The irony in the story, people did not understand the quality of their products. They did not have time to appreciate their craftsmanship or the intricate skills that were invested in making every piece of the masterpiece. I'll introduce you to the author, John Galsworthy. He was an English novelist and a playwright. His notable works, The Fawcett Saga and its sequels, A Modern Comedy, End of the Chapter. These were well read in those days. He also got Nobel Prize in Literature in the year 1932. Word in focus, penetrate. It's a verb meaning passing through, especially with force or effort. Conjugation, penetrate, penetrated, penetrated, penetrating, penetrates. Derivative, penetration is a noun. Usage, X rays can penetrate through many objects. Students, in this lesson, we would see that the character Mr. Gassler spoke English but had a mother tongue influence. He would pronounce letters like P, T, K as B, D, and G. His English was funny and difficult to understand. We'll find words such as ID, which stands for it, DEM stands for them, and BIECE stands for peace, and BRUDDER, Bruder, stands for brother. Fortnight, FORDNIGHD, stands for fortnight, and ZEND, ZEND, stands for send. You can see the German influence in English. The title quality is short and meaningful. Narrator sees the perfection in their work. The value of quality is the uniqueness with which the work was done. Theme in the lesson. The commitment behind doing a work is following one's passion. We should know that and inculcate it in our life too. Every work is a piece of art.
It's very important to listen, and nowadays many people don't listen anymore. The last is really the copy of your foot on which we create the shoe. But nobody shows you how to make a last, really, so you have to train it by yourself and to get the feeling by yourself how you should do it. You have certain measurements from the foot, but the feeling of the client is always different. I love using the leather because you get this particular different touches. What I appreciate so much from this tannery is they use a Swiss calf. Maybe it's because it's cold and these animals live on a very high level in the mountains. It's always a cow, but cows are also different. I think it's something which you can wear for a long time, and the leather, the more you wear it, it really gets more alive, I think. I will draw the model from the client, and this drawing I will translate then on a flat paper model, which I put on the leather, then we sew it together, and from there we start creating really the shoe. I think the handcraft and this concentration of different craftsmanships in Florence is really coming up from the Medici family. If it's a jeweler or if it's a painter or a sculpture maker, they always try to get the best artisans in town. The upper will be nailed and pulled over the last. I will start sewing with linen thread, which is made kind of waterproofed with wax. When you stitch, you have two threads which go into the same hole, and as you pull, the wax goes hot. It will seal together, so the water cannot go through. And this is a very particular and very old process. It's very rare to be a woman in this shoemaking world. When I started, everybody looked at me and said, this lady is going to close down in a year. A woman in a man's job, it's not going to work. And now they're all proud in this area that I'm still here. We fill in the wooden shank and the back support, because that is the part under the curve of your foot which will not be bent. So it has to be supportive and stiff. The front part we will fill with cork. This is to give you a bit a cushion effect. As you bend it the whole time, it's important to have it soft. We apply the sole, we will glue it on, and afterwards make a channel. We will stitch the welt and the leather sole together through the channel, so it gets more a shape of a shoe and you see it more as a finished product. When we work normally in the workshop, it's a very calm feeling. We are in kind of a meditation because you are so concentrated on what you do. You can feel that all of a sudden the energy comes down. Everybody's concentrated on his particular step. The last big step to put on is the heel, which will be built out of single layers of leather. We will glue them and nail them on, and then cut them in shape. And at the end, we pass some glass, sanding it, and then burn it with hot irons. So all the pores are going to be completely closed up. The last step is to shine the whole shoe. And then we can pull out the last, and then the client can wear it.
This story is about the Gessler brothers, who were shoemakers. They owned a shop in a stylish part of London. The shop was very simple, but was as peaceful as a church. The narrator knew the younger of the two brothers because he had made his father's boots. The Gessler brothers only made boots on order. The boots crafted by the younger brother were pieces of art as they lasted very long. Once the narrator told him how one of the boots made by him had made a creaking sound. The younger Gessler brother asked the narrator to bring them back and promised to return the money he had charged if he had failed to repair them. He was a very honest and hard-working shoemaker who cared about the smallest detail in the boots he crafted. That is why he could easily spot the problems in a pair of boots that the narrator had bought from a big company. He was angry that the big companies charged a lot of money for poor quality boots. He was also upset about the big companies making a lot of money only through advertisements and not through quality work. Seeing the shoemaker so sorrowful, the narrator ordered several pairs of boots. The boots were so well made that the narrator did not feel the need to visit the shoemaker for a long time. After 2 years, when the narrator visited the shoe shop, he met the older brother and inquired about his younger brother. The shoemaker revealed that he was the younger brother and his older brother had died. The narrator was shocked to find how much the younger Mr. Gessler had aged, so he ordered several pairs of boots again. He received them after a very long time, but their quality was better than ever and they lasted very long. Soon after, the narrator went abroad. A year later, when he returned to London, he went to the shoe shop. He realized the shoemaker looked 15 years older and was very weak. The narrator placed an order for several pairs of boots. He received them after a long time. Excitedly, he tried on all the pairs and found that each one fit perfectly. The narrator immediately posted a check for the shoemaker. A week later, the narrator visited the shop to convey his gratitude to the shoemaker. To his surprise, the name of the shop was different. Inside, he met a young Englishman instead of the old German shoemaker. The young man told the narrator that Mr. Gessler had died of starvation. The man spoke of how the shoemaker had worked hard to complete the few orders he received due to increased competition. He was so particular about his craft that he did not allow anyone else to help him. Delays in delivery also led to loss of customers. Despite using the best leather to make the most perfect boots, he had no money. He spent all his money on leather and rent. He dedicated his life to his art.
The big question: did the Gessler brothers' commitment towards the work pay them well? All human values in threat in the quest for material gains. Students, we have certain phrasal verbs. I want you to use them in making meaningful sentences. The phrasal verb, along with its meaning, has been displayed in the PPT. Read it loud and frame meaningful sentences. After reading the text and watching the video carefully, I hope you understood the moral. We should support the small-scale industries because they do the work with a lot of intricate skills. So we need to support them. So you saw the life of Mr. Gessler, and you have also understood that he neglected his health in order to make the quality shoes. So we always have to help the handmade goods and the craftsmen. That is what we learn from this lesson.